Hi, I'm Brooke Wagner, and I'm here with Dr. Brian Patrick to talk about his new book, The 10 Commandments of Propaganda. We're going to discuss the book in a series of short episodes, one for each commandment. Now I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Brian Patrick, the author of The 10 Commandments of Propaganda. Commandment number 3.
Hi, Brian Patrick here. I'm going to talk about my third commandment of propaganda out of my book, The 10 Commandments of Propaganda. Number 3 is disambiguate. Now I know this is a preposterous sounding word, to disambiguate. It literally means to make less ambiguous, to make more clear, to make black and white. Propaganda, mass propaganda, does not deal well with ambivalent situations. When you're talking to the masses, this is not a sociology lecture where you're going to have these nuanced shades of meaning and so forth. What you need to do is make a clear cartoon-like statement. All the blame lies on the other side of the frontier. It was that nasty Vladimir Putin fellow, and we, of course, are good Americans. You've seen 1,000 examples of this in your lifetime. Some of you who are older will remember the old Popeye cartoons from the Second World War. You've probably seen them as a child, where Popeye is fighting Tojo, the Japanese, and you have the buck-toothed, big, thick glasses emperor fighting our noble Popeye. It makes it a cartoon. We do this easily. Even the politics of agitation, like class warfare type propaganda, they call that agitprop, by the way, agitation propaganda, is aimed at driving divisions so that you can disambiguate, you can make things seem more clear, and this helps people mobilize. I'll give you a couple more examples. If you're going to be a union organizer, how is the world cleaved into two? It's like cleaving a diamond or something. You have labor versus the worker. If you're going to be a black power activist, it's like whitey versus the black man. If you're going to be a feminist, it's women, perhaps spelled with a W-O-Y-M, whatever, women, how they spell that, against male patriarchy. The Nazis did the same thing. If you're familiar with the Aryan version of cartoon history, the Aryan was the blonde, blue-eyed beast of Nietzsche that civilized the world. And of course, he was opposed, the Aryan was opposed by the Jew, who was some sort of creature who was trying to destroy the Aryan race and civilization. Disambiguation is extremely important. Another very common way this is done is by definition. Let's say you're a teacher, and let's say you're an elementary teacher, although college professors face some of this as well. Don't believe me, we're not immune. You're a teacher, you have a child in your class who's disruptive. It's a boy, he's hyperactive. He can't keep his mind on anything. His mind wanders. He jumps around. He does all sorts of crazy things. I'm describing myself probably now, but certainly when I was young. In fact, if I was a child today, they would have drugged the hell out of me. But nowadays, teachers have tools to deal with these things, and these are called definitions. So you have a definition of this condition called, I think, ADD, ADHD, and by a simple checklist, you can say, well, this child does all of these things, which is what normal children do, but he's now ADD. So we're going to sell this, we're going to give this child drugs and so on. But you know, if you think about it, drugging a child, as I'm saying it right now, sounds very horrible and immoral. But when you say it in response to this clinical condition, this definition, it sounds necessity. So a lot of times you define things. And again, maybe the drug thing is not the best example in the world, but the Jews were defined as a public health problem by the Nazis. And what's the solution to a public health problem? You treat it, and so on. Disambiguation is probably the most important thing that a propagandist can do, because it puts the propagandist and his cause on the moral high ground, and it puts everybody else on the low ground. So, Commandment 3, disambiguate.